Hello and Happy New Year. I'm going to talk to you today about the January 2024 challenge that we have going on in my Shift Mind Plus Body program. So, Shift Mind Plus Body is a combination of both health, wellness, fitness, and then the one thing that you need to make all those other things happen, which happens in your brain. And so I thought it was appropriate for this January to have each of us work on one habit that we would like to stop doing or maybe start doing. And so the challenge, as it's been outlined, and I'll post it for you here, the challenge, as it's been outlined, is five things basically. The first one is I'm asking you to set an intention. So just pick one thing, just one thing, any habit or behavior that you want to start or stop. If you're coaching with me already, this could be one of the things that's already on your list of to dos. The second thing I'm going to have you do is create an affirmation that you would like to use around this thing. And I'm going to go over that in a minute. The third thing is at least one action, if not two, that will make your affirmation and your intention become real to your brain. So if you've decided you like to stay better hydrated, the action would be wake up every morning and drink 8 ounces, or get a new cup and measure how much you're drinking per day, or skip one soda and switch it out for water. Any kind of action that you can take that will make that shift real to your brain. Then the fourth thing is kind of a trick to all of this, which is the 20-second rule, where I talk about making a habit 20 seconds harder or easier to do. For instance, move the cookies. This is one of my favorites. Move the cookies so they're way up high. So if I want a cookie, I have to get a chair out, drag it across the kitchen, stand on the chair, climb on the counter, and then reach those cookies out of the top cupboard. Or if you want to make something easier, make it 20 seconds easier. Sleep in your workout clothes if you're going to work out first thing the next morning. If you want to remember to do something daily, leave it out. Put it someplace where you'll see it immediately. That's the 20-second rule. And then the last thing is probably the most important thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is to change the way you think. So you've had lots of repetitions leading up to this point, maybe a lifetime of repetitions. And if you're in your 60s or older, like I am, there's a lot of repetitions that have come before that have really embedded habits in you. So it can be a little harder because the more embedded a habit becomes, the more repetitions it takes to switch that habit to something else. And so what I want to talk to you about shifting and changing the way you think is putting new information in and doing some things repetitively, because that's the way that you create a new habit. We would rather do something that makes us unhappy or is not good for us because it's comfortable than to do something new. Even the new thing would feel better, would make us look better, would perhaps heal a relationship. We're drawn to what we've done over and over again. And so you really have to have that intention out in front of you of identifying that one thing that you want to shift and then repeating that new thing so frequently that you can overcome the habit that's been embedded for you. It's kind of like changing software. If you change operating systems, you need to override the old software and put new apps and software in that you can use. And that's what we're doing here. So number 5 on this list is to listen to or read a book for 15 minutes a day. And I've given you a list of books that includes books by people like Bob Proctor, who's really old school, but I love him. His stuff is really simple and on point. I especially love his book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. That's one of the books on here. Wayne Dyer, love all of his stuff. There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem and Secrets of the Universe are two of my favorites. Then if you're looking for something from multiple people, There's something called The Secret, which is a collaboration between Bob Proctor and many other life coaches, people who are in the change industry, so to speak. And then I've got one, if you're a Buddhist, you can do some Sadhguru, or if you prefer something from a Christian perspective, The Power to Change by Craig Rochelle is a really good book and one that you might want to try. So why am I asking you to go back to one of these old school things, maybe something that you've listened to previously and listen to it again? Well, the reason is repetitions. And if you read a book or listen to a book, which is what I most frequently do, reading it one time and putting it away is not going to do you any good. Bob Proctor talks about how, as a young man, he came across Think and Grow Rich, which is also one of my favorite books. And that he still, years and years later, I don't know, maybe 60 years it's been, he still reads that book every single day. And he still finds new things in that. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, it's possible simply because when you do something over and over like that, you shift. Your mind becomes open. And something that maybe you weren't ready for, you didn't hear in the first read, will come to you in the second, third, fourth, fifth. And that's really about how we create change, is putting that new information in. So if there's some book that's not on this list, that's fine, but I wanted to give you a go-to of books that are really a nice platform for change, and that's what I've provided for you. And then I have one additional suggestion, and this is not on the challenge, but it's to take one of your affirmations, or what I call a AAA plan, what you aspire to, what you're affirming, and what actions you'll take, and write that whole thing down in a journal 3 times. Yes, 3 times. Same thing, 3 times in a journal every day, because that's how you make something a part of you. Think about all of the things that are really imprinted on you. The way you go about chores, the way you drive to work. So many things that are driven by our subconscious that we do without thinking. All of those things were created by repetition. So again, intention and repetition are the key to change. I'm happy to answer questions if you want to post them here, or if you want to email me or set up an appointment with me. I'm happy to do that. If you don't have one of these challenges, you don't have to be part of the Shift community to get one. I'll try and post that here on YouTube, but I can also send that to you if you request it. And this is a great way to really take this last little bit of January and try to solidify some new habits, or solidify changing or shifting from a habit that is no longer serving you, which could be the way you think about something, to something that serves you more adequately at this point in your life. So let's go. Let's start this challenge. I'll be posting more videos on this, and I hope that you have a great day and that you find success in shifting both your mind and your body.